Right, let's move on to the Sa family of markers, which is the last family, right? We already talked about the Ang with the focus. So the Ang family of markers with the focus, the Og family of markers with the non-focus in another video. And now let's talk about Sa family of markers, okay? So just to recap with the Sa, here are your kind of general guidelines and rules, right? So it's a specific, right? Sa marks specificity versus Og, which marks non-specific. With sa, it's sa with nouns is going to be specific. So you're going, if you hear this with a noun, you're going to be understanding that it's specific to what was being talked about, or where in particular this noun was, or what is it specifically, right? Because the og, if it marks the noun, it's just non-specific with nouns, right? So it could be like, for example, an apple, right? An apple. It can just be an apple out of many apples, an apple out of whoever's apples, right? It just marks something that's non-specific. But if we mark it with sa, right? If we mark it with sa, it's gonna be, oh, the apple. I want the apple that we were talking about. I want the apple that we were looking at. I want the apple that was over there specifically. Do you see what I mean? Because if it's just an apple, it's just it can be anything, right? Any apple, regardless, wherever. But with sa, it's definitely specific. We know it's a specific kind of apple that you want. Ang works the same way with sa. They're both specific, while og is non-specific. So I hope you can understand the concept of specificity from this. Next, it's also a non-focus. So like og, which is a non-focus marker, sa is also a non-focus marker. That means ang is our only focus marker. All right, so even though we have a sentence and ang, right, ang or any part of the ang family is marking something that's giving focus, sa can be in that sentence, and sa can, if sa is in that sentence, it would be marking a non-focus just to give amplifying information, right? But it's also not important in the sentence. It's just helping provide information, but it's not the focus of the sentence, because the ang family of markers, whichever one you're using, is the one that's marking that it is important. And next, think of it as a universal location or direction marker, right? So in terms of, like, I guess you can think of it kind of like prepositions, right? Prepositions, so the in, about, on, of, throughout, or I guess, or something like that, like prepositions, it shows location and direction to something in relation to another thing. It can also be used in possession. So possession in a sense where it's it's specific to something that it isn't talked about. And then, I mean, it's kind of confusing, but I'll show you through the examples and you'll understand it. And lastly, indirect object. So think of it in terms of like an indirect object. I know in Indo-European languages, they have something like a genitive case, I think, which can kind of be like an indirect object, or maybe it's the accusative, I don't know. But there's some case that can, that expresses indirect objects in a way, right? I think it's genitive, I'm not sure. But think of it in terms of indirect objects. To you, to me, for him, for her, with him, with me, with them, right? Think of it in terms of that, because it's showing a beneficiary, a beneficial action, well, not action, I guess, a beneficial location going to somebody or someone, right? It asks to who, or for who, or is it to whom or for whom something is going to, right? And I'm laying that out there because the circumstantial voice is going to have a lot of that. So I'm using this Sa family of markers video as a precursor to understanding the final voice in the Austronesian alignment, which is a circumstantial. All right. Now, in order to use a Sa family of markers, we have 4 ways of using it, right? We can express it using sa, right? Sa. We can express it using sa with nouns, location, stuff like that. Kang, we can use it with the proper nouns. So remember, in the ang family of markers, for proper nouns, we can mark it with si. With the og family of markers, with proper nouns, we can mark it with ni. And with sa family of markers, we can mark proper nouns with kang, right? Kang and kang, if you're marking a proper noun with kang, it's gonna give a meaning of to that person specifically. So if I say kang Doña Maria, it's gonna be for Doña Maria or with Doña Maria, something that's going to Doña Maria, right? Or kang Jose, which means something that's going to, for, or with Jose, right? Kang Jose. And it works that way with proper nouns only. If we don't know the person, and if we don't know who this person is, and we just want to use a generic pronoun, we have to use the oblique case pronoun, right? And the oblique case pronoun expresses to him, to her, for me, for them, what I said earlier, right? With me, for me, for you, to you, with you, for them, to him, to her, that kind of stuff. So there is a specific kind of oblique case pronoun that we will take a look at on the examples. Consequently, since the oblique case pronouns also share the same root with the ergative ones, the iya, iyo, not iyo, but iya, imo, there we go, iya, imo, kind of that kind of stuff, right? It's going to share the same root, and then we'll see it through the examples again. But if we don't know the specifics of this person and we just want to label it as like him, her, they, we, us, we have to use oblique case pronouns or the ergative case pronouns, right? And lastly, if we want to talk in demonstrative pronouns, the ergative one is shared with the sa family of markers. So we just use the ergative demonstrative pronouns the same way that we do with the og set of family markers, right? And here are examples to help you understand and demystify, right? The first sentence is, naghatag mig libro sa iya, or sa iyaha, right? Naghatag mig libro sa iyaha, which means we, right? We, not including you, so it's exclusive, the exclusive third person plural. We, me, right? Naghatag mig libro sa iyaha, which means we gave a book to him or her, to whoever this third person singular is. Notice how naghatag is conjugated in the absolutive, right? Because that nag prefix triggered us to use kami. In this form, it's just shortened, right? Kami, naghatag kami. Instead, we just say naghatag mi, right? So that's both in the absolutive case already. So this absolutive trigger with this verb conjugated to it made us use the absolutive case pronoun. So this is our focus. The focus is on us. What are we doing? We are giving. Giving what? A book. Notice how the og is marking libro, right? It's before libro, and libro means book. So og libro. It's just a book. We don't know what kind of book it is. It's just a non-specific, non-focus noun, right? Non-specific, non-focus. It's not the focus because the focus is us. What did we do? We give, right? We give, and then since it's not a focus, and it's not specific, it's the object. Okay, a book. A book was going to who? To him, to her, right? Sa iya or sa iyaha, to him. Let's just say him. Now, if we change the og to a sa, naghatag mi sa libro sa iyaha. Okay, well now we know that that book is specific. What book were you talking about? Oh, the book in the corner, the book that we were talking about earlier, the book that we saw earlier, or the book that you mentioned earlier, that book, right? So now it's specific, but in this case, it's og libro. With the sa here, sa shows the location or direction to going to this person, the third person, right? Third person singular, sa iyaha. Consequently, we can also use the oblique form, kaniya, naghatag mig libro kaniya, right? Kaniya. They both mean the same, sa iyaha, sa iya, or kaniya, right? This is just written with the ergative style, but the oblique style can also be used. That's why I put it there. Next, magpalit ko sa iyahang mga saging, okay? Which means I'm going to buy his bananas. Sa is used here, not og, so we know that sa is specific to only his bananas. Sa iyang mga saging, right? Remember, og marks non-specific, so sa is used with the noun, specifically his bananas that we want, right? Because it can be any banana, but it's just his specifically. Consequently, if I say magpalit ko sa mga saging, okay, I'm gonna buy specifically bananas, not any kind of banana, just specifically those bananas that we were talking about or that we saw, whatever, right? And word order syntax is flexible as long as it's marked. Magpalit ko sa mga saging niya. Alright, sa mga saging. Magpalit ko sa mga saging niya. As long as it's marked, you can flip the word order, it's okay. But verb subject object maintains it in a good conversational flow. Except as long as you can mix it around and mark it, it's fine. Nindot ang bangko sa Davao. This is showing ownership in a way and location. The bank in Davao is beautiful. Nindot ang bangko sa Davao. So the bank in Davao is beautiful. It is showing location. It's also specific. So we were talking about a specific bank going somewhere in Davao that was beautiful. Respetado ang balaod sa organisasyon, right? Respetado ang balaod sa organisasyon. So the law is respected in the organization, right? Sa is showing possession. So the organization's law is respected, right? The law is respected in the organization, or the organization's law is respected. It's showing ownership that way. And that's what I meant by possession. It's showing ownership. Kang kinsang ning bulingon. Kang kinsang ning bulingon. Whose dirty laundry is this? Look, ni is the short form for kani, right? Ni, and then it has the nga ligature, right? So kani nga bulingon. We shortened it to ni nga bulingon, ning bulingon. For whose dirty laundry these, right? For whose dirty laundry these. So this is our absolutive, all right, because it's in the ang set of markers. This is our focus. And then kang, to who. This is marking for who specifically, and we need to know a name, a proper noun, because kang kinsa, we need to know, all right? And the answer is, oh, kang kuya Jaime kana. So kana, again, we already know is marking the absolutive, so we know it's kang kuya Jaime. So that's his. Those, or that, I guess, that is kuya Jaime's. Again, word order, you can change it around as long as the marking stays the same. Kana kang Ate Lena. Kana kang Ate Lena. That's for Ate Lena. Kang kuya, for that, that is kuya Jaime. Kang kuya Jaime, for that. All right, it's showing ownership, or to who, to what, with whom, right? With whom, or to whom, for whom. It answers that. It's kind of like an indirect object kind of thing in a way. So hopefully you'll understand this one a little better, and we can get moving on to the next voice, the circumstantial.